So domain we are using for field level validation. Okay, simply, and data element is for giving some semantic information like a field heading and some memory ID and all. Okay, so let me log into the system. Opening SC level. So this was a table yesterday we created. I'm just clicking on change. Okay. So whenever I click on change, this was yesterday table. Now see the initial beautification the data editable mode. But I submit map this data element with data element to pre-defined. So I'm just clicking on this pre-defined data. Now see data element is gray out. Okay, only through pre-defined data types. So yesterday we did table creation with the help of pre-defined data types. So today now we are going with the data element approach. So again I'll go with original view. So this is a original view. Now for the data element, it's a basic semantic information of the field we call it as. So basic information, okay. So which we can cover in data element like field heading. So yesterday we saw that in table maintenance generator, instead of heading it is showing plus symbols. So headings are not. So we have to generate the heading for each field. And some memories also, some memory ID also we can create, but this moment uh, memory ID is not important. Okay, heading part will discuss, and there is a domain concept. So domain we are using for field level validation. Okay, so now I'll create the data element. Data elements also separate development objects in SAP ABAP. Okay, separate development object means it should start with Z or Y if it is a custom one. If it is a standard one, it will be fine. We can use directly. So when we go with custom one, it should start with ZR1. Okay. So for the client one, we have a standard data element provided by SAP. We'll use that one only, MANDT. You just click on enter, you can see data will be same data only, background. See, if you double click on this data element, it is asking save before going to this data element. So whenever I double click on this data element, it will go to the data element page. So we were in the changing mode, so that's why it is asking us to change the table before going to the data element. So just click on yes. See, now this is the data element page. You can see dictionary display data element. So MAND it is the data element name, description client. Okay, and we have attributes tab, which is talking about the basic information: who created, when created, which language, and all. You can see it was created in 1995 by SAP user ID. Okay, this it is stored in this SZS package. So in data type, okay, so this data type, as I told, for data element or domain, any level, pre-defined data type is mandatory. See, in data type level, we have some options: elementary data type, reference data type. Okay, reference means we will be referring some other data element or other pre-defined data type through reference. Okay, so that is very less we are using. So elementary data type we are using. Elementary data type also we have two options: predefined, directly will mention here character 5 characters, client 3 characters, integer whatever it is. So other than predefined, we have a domain option. So actually this data element is created with the domain option. See, we have again domain here. So along with domain as part of, in data element, we have other features like field label. So here we're supposed to maintain description, short to heading, medium heading, long heading, proper heading. So we have 4 options, direct heading value. If there is a screen resolution is very less, it will be automatically pick any one of the value, which one is feasible. Okay, so and further characters, we have here parameter ID, which is talking about memory of this field. In future, if you want to run the data based on the memory, that time we can use parameter ID. But currently, we don't have even standard also. Some standard data elements also parameter ID is there. Through that, we can handle the memory. Okay, or we can create our custom parameter IDs. Okay, so such help and all this I'll tell you later. So basically, we're using elementary data type is mandatory. Field symbols are functional wise. This is mandatory. Okay, and if you see domain also one of the development object in SAP. So I'm just double clicking on this. So now we are in dictionary domain page. So here attributes or properties are both are similar to SAP information tabs only. In definition, we have to maintain. See, at the bottom level, we define client is a predefined data type. So you can see all 30 predefined data types will populate now. Okay. We're able to see these 30 data types. Character, client, currency key, currency. Hello?
Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
Yeah. So yesterday also we discussed this all these data types. Okay. Same is available in domain level also. So when we create domain level object. So here additionally what we have in this screen value. Okay. If you see a sign. So if you select this plus or minus, it will allow. So there is a lowercase option. If you select this, it will allow, or if you mention either caps or small, it will store as it is. If you are not selecting this value, if this domain concept is not there, if you create, suppose if you create as a India in all small letters, when you click on say automatically it will convert to caps letter. Okay. So these are all validations. You can see output length, conversion routines we have, and we have a value ranges where we can give fixed values. The client is a we have a limited value. Suppose if you give wrong client, it will throw error because clients are storing in this value table. So we can validate two value tables. See, this is one of the standard tables. So I'm just double click on this. You can see T300, which is store only client's information. See how we are validating this client through this value table. So for this domain level, we configure that other table which is storing only client's information. If we give wrong client information in our table, student table, it will throw error. So the client should be already existed in the that target table, value table, where we are validating the data. Or we can give the fixed values here, or we can give the ranges also, interval ranges. So any one of the option we can use. Okay. So I'll just go back. This is about a standard one. Now we'll create custom one for student number. So I'm just creating Z11. Okay. So again, we have two approaches here, creating the table top to bottom and bottom to top approach. So top to bottom is creating table, then data element, then domain. Okay, in the same sequence, table creation within the table data element creation, and within the data element domain creation. It's a top to bottom approach. When it comes to bottom to top, first we'll create all domains separately. In S11 we have a domain option, which is a fifth component. We'll create all domains first, and we'll keep it separately. Then we'll create data elements. Okay. So when we create data elements, we'll use those domains in data element, but we'll create separately and we'll put it separate. And finally, we'll create the table and we'll use all these data elements at a time and we'll activate the table. That is bottom to top approach. But if there is again, if you want to change, we need to modify and all. So in this case, top to bottom approach, in the same screen only we can do everything. So I'll explain you both in this session only. See, Z11 SNO underscore SNO. This is data element which we are creating. So we have to double click on this. So it is asking save this table before going to that screen. One second, guys. I might be missing something. Yeah. So it is asking save before existing editing. Okay. So I'm just saving this table because it is navigated to other screen. So I'm just click on yes. So now it is asking data element Z11 SNO is not available. Create the data element. So I'm just click on yes. See, we landed into this data element page. So here we have to give description. What is the description? Student number. Okay. See, student number, it's a num-c value. So we don't, in this case, we don't require domain. We can go with predefined data type. See, when you select predefined data type, we'll be selecting this data type. So we'll get, see, all 30 predefined data types we are able to see in element level itself. At any level, this value is mandatory. So what we provided, num-c only we provided. So I'll take 12 characters. Then we don't need to go domain inside domain. We don't need to do those fixed values, lowercase sign and all, because we are not going with the domain in this case. We are going with predefined data type.
Kishore, sorry to interrupt. A quick question. So, why do we need a domain first of all? In order to create a table, it's no need, right? All you need to create the structure and move on. We can use that particular table
No,
anywhere
data
else wherever you need. Mm.
data element domains are not mandatory. Just now I told data elements are semantic information like headings and all. If there is a requirement, like if you want to use data element headings in your program, we have
Mhm.
to create data element. And when the domain is mandatory when there is a field level validation. Suppose student field only we have here, and there is a one more table which is having university student information. So whenever there is a student came to college, and when we are registering when we punch that student number in this table, the student number should be available in the university table, otherwise it should not allow. How can we do that validation? Through domain level we can do. If you don't have domain, it will not allow. And for recording the address information or name and all, if we give something all caps letter, all or all small, anything, if you can provide, automatically it will convert it to caps letter in database.
Right.
If you
Yeah,
use
that we
domain,
discussed earlier too, right? It will be, we need to change that conversion. Yeah,
yes.
uppercase to
And
lowercase. Yeah.
and for location case, if you want to restrict the locations, domain level will provide only fixed values, 4 5 values. Okay, so
Right.
only those 4 values will allow. And for ranges also, suppose if there is a age ranges, okay, so it should be between 20 30. That can also restrict. But with the,
Uh,
only with the predefined what we discussed yesterday, with those values we can't. Only we can create the table, and the structure is there. It will store the data, but not actual content will not store.
got
Without,
you. Got you.
without
Hmm.
validation only it will. So now see, for student number we don't need we don't need to do much validations, but we need
Correct.
headings. That's why I'm going
Correct.
with predefined data type field label. We are not going with the domain. We don't have
Right.
any value.
Right.
So I'll go here. So we
Yeah.
have short, medium, long heading. In short time we have to mention like this, S and O. And medium I'm putting here number long, because this short, medium, long will take based on the screen resolution. Some screens we have very less space for this column. So that time it will go SNO as a heading. If you are using only 3 4 fields in the output screen, automatically will pick this value. System will
Hmm.
student number. Okay. So once we fill these labels, click on enter. Length will come automatically. It will generate. So now data element data type part is done. Field label part is done. So we have to save in our table, because since it is also development object, you can see detail. Detail means data element. Yes, this is object name. This is the object. So I'm saving in our package. Okay. Select our own request 780. Continue. So it is new status. We have to activate. Check. Activate. First one. Second one is table, that we have to create data elements for each field. Then only we will activate. Continue. See, now it is active status. Just click on back. It will go to the table. See, now everything is same. Okay.
Hmm.
So you're not seeing any difference. So what I'll do, I'll remove all this. Still, it is updating, but we need to see that differences. So I'll remove this existing values. and shift again. So now we don't have those values, predefined types and all. Now first name we have to put Z11 SNO. Okay, sorry, it is SNO. F name, we can say SF name, student first name. So double click on this, save this table before going to any screen. So create the data element is description. First name. So this case I'm creating the domain. I'll use same name. Okay, ZWMSF name. So double click on this page again. So now it is asking saving the data element before going to domain screen. So when I click on save, it will ask the package because we are first time saving the data element. Yes, saving the transport. Yes. Now you can see data element not available. Create the domain. So domain is not available. Create the domain. Yes. So now it is directed to domain page. So I'm just creating first name. Here again at bottom level anyway we predefine is mandatory. So the previous screen we came through domain option, but there predefined we didn't select. But however, predefine is mandatory at 18 level, either table level or data element level or domain level. So now first name we took yesterday a character, a number of characters is 10. Decimal places we don't have any. Or you can see here output formation, scientific. So this also we can use pharmaceutical industry and all. Now whenever I click on enter, this will be visible. Okay, output. So I want to go with lowercase because when I put small, it should store as a small only. When I put caps, it will be stored in database as it is. We should not convert always caps. Okay, so I selected lowercase, click on enter. Now see that scientific values and all gone because that is working based on the data type. Now sign also gray out because for characters sign will not suitable. Sign is only for integer values. Okay, not for text values. So few of
Mm-hmm.
them it's based on the data type it will gray out. Now I'll go to value ranges. For first name and all we don't have any fixed values. Okay, we don't need to go with this. Only lowercase we are using additional options. So I'm just saving this domain. So saving the package and saving the transport activate directly. See it is active status. Go one step back. Now see here in data element page level, you can see character 10 is updated automatically in under this domain because this data is coming from domain. Now next we have to maintain field label. Next we have a resolution space. So when it is overflowing here, then we can maintain shorter. So we have too much text, so we can use the first name. Click on enter. Uh, Length is calculated automatically. So I'm just checking, activating the data element. So now data element activated. Just we'll go one step back because we came from the table. See, now it is updated values. Same we have to do for every data element, okay, every field.
Sir, for client you have used standard data element. Now we are creating
Yes.
customized data element.
No, for student name, student number and all, we don't have any data elements. I mean,
Okay,
uh, we
okay,
we
okay.
don't we don't have student concept in SAP. Okay, so we are creating just student table for our understanding. Okay, we don't have. I mean, we have employees information, but we don't have any student because SAP will not supported for trainings and all. I mean, training business and all. SAP having real estate and all some other business banking and all, but we don't. SAP having airlines also, airlines business also. So we have airlines tables and all, but no training related component within SAP.
So in standard we can't edit anything like domain and prefix predefined, just how we are creating right
Yes,
now.
yes, we should not because standard objects, as I told, initially we have two types of keys. For custom objects, we should have developer key. For editing standard objects, we should require access key.
Okay,
Okay. So
okay.
client we should not change. It is defined by SAP. Mandate. MANDAT. Okay.
So how we can get that predefined word mandate? Now we have used mandate. Is there anything else?
No, it's a one, only this will only for client.
Only one for a
See, for
okay.
email also we have a SAP own data element. If you want, we can use that. But I'll show you that standard data
Okay.
element for email. Many of the things we have once you familiar with SAP, you can understand many of the fields. Okay, once you write your own programs, I mean once you develop objects in real time, you will get to know all these things. But as of
Okay.
now, for functional points, so once we started concept, we will be using many of the tables for SD flow, MM flow related concepts. So there you'll get to know many of the tables. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay. It depends upon field. Means how the field is.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Field
Okay.
based the field only we have already. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay. Thank
So
you.
email is a concept because for users profile and all email is there. So we have age address we don't have. Address means we are just putting everything in under address, but we have separate fields for country, street, region and all. Okay, postal code and all. We have every field we have separately because address is many important area for customers, vendors and all. So we have each field separately. We have not under single field. Okay. Just continuing with this to create the data element. Last time. So here also I'll go with the domain. Okay, so double click on this domain, save this data element, create the domain, last name. Here also characters. We know that field we can directly type. Character 15 character 50 characters, lowercase. Save. Save in the package and transport. So package and transport is mandatory for every development object. Okay. Here also value range is not required. So I'm just activating domain. So we'll go back to the data element. Here, field label we have to maintain. You can maintain same if you have only 4 or 5 characters text. Okay, so just click on save, check, activate. So now domain also done, data element also done. We'll go back to the table again. Now see, this is up. This predefined is updated. From where it is coming, this character and 50.
It has updated
Data
from
element.
data element.
No, we updated in domain level. So this
Domain
data is
level.
coming
Yeah.
domain level. See now we are
Okay.
not able to create.
Okay.
This is gray out because this data is coming from domain level. For student number, it is coming from data element level because there we don't have any domain. Next email ones, yeah, I'm using a standard one AD See, this is standard data element. AD underscore SMTP we don't write. SMTP address ADR. You can see character 241 is provided by SAP in domain level. If I double click on this domain, it is already created. We can see the data, but we can't able to edit. See, in data type again we have a domain here. Okay, so I'll double click on this domain. You can see we have a character and 241 length, and they are using some conversion routing. Okay, for the validation and all. Okay, see these are one of the conversion and they select a lowercase. In value range we have any? We don't have any value range because email option we don't give any fixed values or we don't have any target table. It's users personal choice like email or Yahoo or client domain emails. So it depends. Okay, so character 21 fields they are using conversion also. So when I double click on these conversions, whenever there is a conversion maintained by default there is a two function models is available. So you'll not understand. I'll tell you in the actual concept what is conversion or we'll use those. Conversion for data like data validation conversions we can say. Okay, this is mainly maintained for all primary keys. 100% it is maintained for primary keys. Okay, like a purchase order, sales order, because we in the table we have a primary key and initial value checkbox also. Suppose if there is a purchase order number 1, but we provided length as a 10, preceding 9 zeros will take as a preceding 9 places will take as a 0. But when it comes to output, it will display that only one value. It will not display the preceding zeros. But when it's a database level, it will show as a preceding 9 zeros and 10th character will show as a 1. So that is a purchase order number. But if you when we display the same value in the output screen, it will display as a 1. Preceding zeros will not display. So sometimes when we put select queries, conditions and all, it will show that data is not available in table level. So we have to use conversion from 1 to preceding zeros 1, and we have to target the database, then we'll get actual data. Okay. So that time we are using these conversions, output format, input format. Okay. As of now, we just understand this length 241. You can see here SMTP internet, mail address, business address services. Okay. Here I use standard one. Now for age, I'm creating custom one. Ready. See, for age one, only for this age field, I'm showing bottom to top approach. So what is that bottom to top approach? For table creation.
First creating domain, data element, then
Mm.
table.
Yeah. Consider we don't have the student table now. Okay. So now what we supposed to do, we have to create all domains. See, right side S11 page, we have a domain option. So now we already done half of the table. So only for age field I'm explaining. So for age field we have to create domain first. So Z11 underscore ACH. See, I'm creating domain. So we have separate navigation also for this. So I'm just click on create domain. Okay, here you can see domain page. So description is student age. Okay, and here I'm using numc. So I'm using 5 characters. Okay. So whenever you click on enter, the conversion that scientific values, it is only for separate data types. It is not aligned. Now see, for numc, both sign and lowercase is grey out. So both are not applicable. Now I'm going value ranges. So here I'll give limit. Okay. So lower limit is 20. Upper limit 30. So in between student age only will take student age. Okay. So I provided intervals in between, only student age will allow whenever we create entries in database. So just click on save. Okay. So we are saving this domain. Yes. Saving the transport. See, it is saved. We are activating the domain. See, domain continue. It is active status. So now domain is created. Now next we have to create data element. Okay, with this, by using this domain. So I'll go to the screen. So data element comes under custom data types option. So I'll use the same name. Okay, so data element comes under data type. Okay, here just select, enter the data element name, what we're supposed to create, click on create. So under data type, again, we have 3 options: data element, structures, table type. So currently we are going with data element, continue. See, we are in data element option. So here we mention student age. We have a domain. Okay, so we don't need to mention. See, I mentioned this is our domain name only. See, here we don't need to double click because we already created the domain. So just click on enter. See, values is auto populate. Student age. Okay, now we have to maintain only field tables.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
For in table for student number, you have created domain and no, predefined one, and for first name, last name, and emails, you have selected domain. What is
Yes.
difference in it?
No, for student number, we don't have any validations, right? What is the use of domain? Domain is we are using for field level validations. When you are entering,
Okay.
when you are clicking on save, it will show that this is wrong value. Try with the different value. Okay,
Okay.
by default it will act as a validation. Okay, for student number we don't have any validations. First name and last name we should have we have a validation which is the data should be stored based on the user input. If user is giving small letters, it should show store as a same as it is small letters. That's why
Okay.
we selected lowercase checkbox in domain level. For email, we use standard. Now for the student age, we have a validation. What is our validation here? The value student age should be between 20 and 30.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, you remember na, in the domain level, see I'm going with this
Right,
domain.
right, 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 sir.
So I'm
Got it, sir.
saving this data element. Yeah. And what is the use of data element? That is by default, it is for using for headings. So we will see in today by regenerating the TMT, there we can see the headings.
Yes,
See
sir.
in this domain, we mentioned this lower limit, upper limit. You can see here, age. Okay.
Right, sir.
So I'll activate this data element. Yes. Now see data element also we created. So similar way we have to create domain and data element for each and every field. When it is a bottom to top approach, we have to maint paste all these data elements here. So this is age. Next one is address. And like that we have to maintain all data elements. If you click enter, automatically this the information everything will update it. If you are doing bottom to top approach. Currently we don't have address. See age we already created right side. So I'm just clicking on enter. See this nums is auto populated. We don't need to double click and create in the bottom to top approach. But we have to go with many screens for everything we have to open. That's why we are not preferring bottom to top approach. We are going with top to bottom approach. In the same screen, in the same session, we can do everything by double click. And once we created, we'll activate and we are coming back. Okay, in the step. So that is easy when compared to bottom to top approach. Okay, next one address. So I'm just double click on this. This is not created. So I'll go with top to bottom approach only, remaining fields. Now you understand, right? Difference between top to bottom, bottom top approach.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we have to create the separate domain, separate data element for every field. So at that time, so we have how many fields? 11. Okay. So just mandate we are in standard one that we can ignore 10 fields. So 10 domains we have to create first. Then 10 data elements we have to create. All we have to maintain here along with the fields. Once you click on enter, everything will auto populate and directly activating only. Final table creation after data domain data element. Now this case we are creating first table and then in table level we are creating domain and data element. So just click on save table. Student address also we need to go with lowercase option. Okay. So double click on this, save the data element. Yes. Here also I'm using character. I'll use 100 characters for address. So lowercase I'm selecting, enter. We don't have any fixed ranges. Address is free text. User can give their address in any format. Activating the domain, going back and maintaining field labels in domain level. Enter length will come automatically. So check the data element, activate. Okay, so just going back. So address is also done. Next location one. Okay, is Z11. Okay, here we have validation. Like location should be restricted. So I'll go with the same name. Same name will allow for the same object, but different object can be used. If you create same data element, it will not allow. Not only this table, anywhere. If suppose once we create this data element for in that system, any developer cannot create with the same. I mean, they will not able to create with the same object with the same name. Okay, so now we are creating different object because domain is different, data element is different. With the same name, we can try. Okay, yes, save the package, transport, create the domain. location. So here I'm giving 5 characters I'll give. Okay. Enter valid value. Sorry,
So
characters.
character,
Yeah, and then 5 characters. Okay. Okay. So I'll go with value range. Here I'll give fixed values. Last time we used intervals. Now fixed values is okay. HYD. Okay.
fixed values means it if it a person is from Hyderabad, then only it would be, get
Yes.
validation.
Yes. Yes.
And that interval means in the range. It is a range.
Yes. Yes. Not only
Okay, sir.
single range, you can maintain multiple ranges also, like 20 to 30, 40 to 50. In between only it will take.
Lower limit to upper limit.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, I provided 4 locations. Okay. Just click on save. Check. Activate. See, now we have 3 are open. Domain is open, data element open. Anyway, table is open until we create other fields. But currently data element also open because we came through this navigation. Okay. First domain activation. So domain is activated. We'll go back. Data element here. We have to maintain this field label they call as. This will act as a heading for the wherever we are using these fields. Okay. Activate this. So now see domain is not there. That is already activated. Okay. Now we are doing data element activate. So we came back. Okay. Now date of joining at 11. Okay. Yes. Create the data element. It's a direct date. We don't need any domain because a date only we are just storing based on the based on the input. Okay. So we'll go with predefined data type. Here we have a dates format. Okay. Here you can see date. So whenever I select dates, it's a predefined length. See, it automatically it will update it. We don't need to fill. Okay. Predefined type. Here it is. Okay, so click on and it will save this package under the package and save the transport. See, we are not creating domain, so because we don't need any specific validation, just we are saving the date only. Just check and activate. So again we'll go back. We have to come to this table. Okay, last we have 2 fields now. Here Z11. Okay, so now we are creating quantity. Okay. Here also we don't need validation, so just we're storing the quantity values. Quantity. I'm giving 5 characters length. Field label. Just click on save and activate. Save means it should be package and transport. So activating the data element and coming back. For this also we don't have domain. Now last one, fee. For this we should have validation because my amount might be defined either minus or plus, right? So we should have domain. Just for exception case, fee will not be minus. by mistake, if you enter minus values and all, we have to able. I mean, the table should able to store the values. Fee. Okay. See, directly we don't need to go all domain also. We can maintain field label and then we can also go. Now we can create the data domain part. Click on yes, save in the package. Which we are saving? We are saving the data element part before going to domain. Okay, now it is asking to create a domain. Yes. Here it is current CURR, and I'm maintaining 6 characters, or we can maintain 10 characters. Here I'm selecting sign. So you can see here decimal places are corrected to 1. Automatically it will take because based on the data type. Now see here 12. I mean 2 characters decimal to output length will calculate it based on these characters and decimal places. And we don't have any ranges and all. We don't need. Only the main thing we are doing validation sign and plus or minus we are allowing to store in database through sign option. Just save the domain in the package and save in the transport level. So activating this object. Click on back. Activating the data element. So again click on back. So we have completed all the data elements and fields, and technical settings and all we did yesterday only. Same will applicable, and delivery maintenance also same. Only fields with the data element. So any queries on this?
Oh, sir, clear.
So now I'm just see table change the status to inactive. Yesterday it was active, now it is inactive. So I'm just trying to check. See student year and fees reference fields because we removed those. Now again we have to maintain. So I'll open that reference table VBAP. So first one we have to select radio button VBAP. Sales document item details table VBAP. It's a standard table. That's why Z is not there first character. We'll go here currency quantity. Just scrolling down. We'll use these two. Okay, for currency.
For the reference, we have to use always VBAB, sir. Whether it is also
No,
depend
no,
on field
any,
and
no. Any table we can use. I took this table as a reference. Wherever
okay,
other tables also we have purchase item rate also in the purchase items also we have a quantity and currency. So based on the purchase order only sales order will create, right? Based on the sales order only delivery order will create. Based on the delivery order shipping order will create. Based on the delivery or I mean that shipping order or delivery order invoice will generate. So all these tables we have this currency and quantity.
okay, sir.
Structure you can see here structure change at a field level because we modified many things, right? Because predefined is separate and in this case tables data elements, and we provided many of the validations. Now we modified many things, so database table structure also should alter now. Okay, but we don't have here commands to write the alter statement for Oracle related, right? MySQL related. So how can we do that alter here in this table level? So we have to go here utilities, database object. You can see here database utility. So are able to see the navigation utilities, database objects. Yesterday we used this table contains table manager generator. About to here only in this path only we have database object, database utility. So basically it's a SC14 transaction, but we can navigate from here. I just click on here. You can see it is showing SC level only because we navigated from there. Basically it's a SC14. So this is talking about adjusting database. You can see here activate and adjust database. So this will target the alter statement in Oracle. Okay. So So do you want to continue with the saved data, or we have to remove with existing data? We have two entries, right? Yesterday we created. So we want to continue with this existing data. We can select this and activate and adjust. So yeah, yes. Now see it will do that alter thing based on the new format. It is completed step. Now go back to the table. Now click on check. See, now no errors, no inconsistency found. So for every small change at field level, you have to activate this database thing, because database, the table also will alter automatically database level. So now it is this concept is activated. Now I'll show single entry creation. We'll see all the features, validation features. See, whenever I click on create entries, it is redirected to this TMG, because that single entry will not come now. That's yesterday we saw that single entry screen, right? If there is a TMG, that single entry concept will not work. It will redirect it to TMG automatically. So these are all two entries we created yesterday. You see, now we created data elements, but still plus symbols are showing. Headings are not coming. Any idea from your end? Will you able to think why it is not affected?
No, sir, no idea.
Okay. So this TMG part, when we created yesterday with a reference of yesterday table, not today table. So TMG say it is not it is not auto adjustment. Now database we did auto adjustment by going with the database utility SC14 related screen. We adjust the database. So everything we have to adjust. For TMG also it is generated code. Okay, it is generated yesterday, not today. Okay, so it will work based on yesterday's settings. So we have to regenerate the TMG. So I'm just going back to the table again. So now see it is showing enter valid value. This is yesterday data, but still yesterday it is not allowed because location is 5 characters. So this one all we have to face, because we put validations. It will validate the existing data also. So in this case utilities, we have a table maintenance generated here. So I'm just clicking on this. See, this was a screen yesterday we maintained without authorization group, function group name, one step, screen number and all. So we have a edit mode, edit option here, or change option you can say. Click on this. This pop-up will come. Here select export mode. So it will open one more pop-up. Select all. So you can select one by one here, or you can click this button, select all. So all checkboxes will select. Okay, refresh overview screen, renew, refresh. Any all are talking about refresh. A renew concept for this TMG. Okay, so just click on continue. You can see here percentage it is showing. It is just refreshing. 34, 40 to 50%. It should complete 100%. See, refresh or renew it is completed. Now we'll see that. What is the transaction code for TMG?
SC56, I think so.
No,
56,
that is
54.
creation. For checking the data, it's a SM30. I'm opening new
SM30.
session, SM30. So this is our table. Click on maintain. Now you can see headings are showing student numbers, first name, last name. Hmm? You can see email address it is showing. You can see student address, location, date of joining, year, student fee. You can see all the information. See, yesterday I was first name and last name. I was entered small letters, but you can see that data was converted caps, email also, everything. Now I'll create new entries. It is asking existing data also adjusting. Location, yesterday we provided Hyderabad full name, but now it is a 5 characters only we provided. So that's why the remaining data is deleted. Now this is showing as a wrong value, enter a valid value. We can take it as a from drop down. You can see this is wrong value. We have to take it this value, Hyderabad. Click on enter. It will show next record is the wrong value. We can take Bangalore. See, now those two entries are modified. Now we are creating new student record. So now we can enter here student number, new one, 3, first name. See, I'm giving small letter. Here I'm first letter caps remaining small. Okay, email address created. So here what is caps? Only A is caps. The data should store as it is. So age I'm selecting. See, we have, whenever we give validation, F4 option will come automatically here. This button. Click on this. So it is showing this range. Okay, in between only we have to select. See, 20. If you select the range, by default it will show lower limit. We can enter 25. Student address. This is free text. We can type our our own data. Something I gave provided. In location I'll take Hyderabad long. See, date of joining also, it's a date formatted. By default, date will have F4 option. You can select from here. So we can see the calendar. We take today date. Locations, it's a fixed values. That's why we got dropped down. Okay. Here, I have two value. And fees, I'm entering 6,000. Save. See, now record is saved successfully. See, it is saved as it is, whatever you enter. C caps, A caps we provide remaining small. Okay, A also caps we provide, it is saved as it is. Okay, so for locations, it will store HYD only, not Hyderabad, because fixed value, when there is a fixed values, it will store only the fixed values, the DL, Bangalore and Hyderabad. It's a internal format. For this description, for our understanding, it will show, but it will not store as this format Hyderabad. It will store only HYD only in database. So when you are displaying also, if you try to display student information in output screen, it will not display Hyderabad, it will display HYD only. So that format, that time you have to write some other logic. If condition, if there is a HYD, we have to display Hyderabad like that. We have to use some different coding if they want a detailed description. You have this kind of thing. Just click on back. Okay, any queries from anyone on this? So we explained in today's session. So how we can create domain and what are the options in domain, and how can we create data element, what are the options in data element, and how we can utilize this both objects in database level. And take TMG also, what is the significance of data element and domain. So significance of data element is the heading part, and domain is significance validation part. Okay. And in this document I have mentioned here the steps how can we create individual domain, individual data element in SE11 screen. Okay, so both can be achieved in SE11 and table level of, okay. And how can we use that if we after modifying table, what activity we supposed to do, that also explain. After modifying TMG also, what activity we supposed to maintain. Creation of TMG is one, and regenerating of TMG also is one of the very important. They will have, it's an interview questions how they will ask. So after modifying table, will table TMG will affect automatically, or we have to do any activity like that, they will ask. For database also, for table also, if you modify database table, do we need to take care of any activity for safeguard of data or something, they will ask. Okay, we have to tell, we have to activate and adjust the database in SE11, SE14 transaction, or we can navigate from SE11 only by going utilities, database object, database utility, database object we can use. Okay. how can we regenerate the TMG? Once we go to the TMG screen, we have a change option there. Once we click on change, we got that export mode pop-up. We have to select export mode. All checkboxes it will be selected. We have to continue. It will regenerate the screen based on the new set of activities done in the table level. Any queries?
Sir, yesterday you have asked a question that if we have a thousands of entries, then how we can do at a time, thousands of entries at a time. So, so now we have created the TMG, that table.
TMG, I mean, TMG is a better than single entry maintenance. Okay. Now see, when I click on create, see here we can do at a time. So when I click on new entries, you can see per page we can maintain 25 entries here. Okay. If we go next page here, arrow mark, you can see again we can maintain 25 like that. We can maintain max 500 to 1000 we can handle through this one. Okay. But if there is a more than 1000 entries, then we have to go with program only. We have to create separate program for that. If you have a 10,000, 15,000 entries, if you want to upload in the program, even in this screen also it will take time. Okay, because per page it is allowing 25 entries only. Okay, because end users point of view, I'll explain you. They will not ask us to. I mean, they will not maintain at a time 1000 entries. So they might be maintain two entries or one entry.